Imagine a party where the music is loud, several conversations overlap, and a faulty light flickers in the corner. For most people, this environment is a blur of sensory data that the brain eventually filters into the background. But for one person in the room, the data remains crisp and distinct. They've already clocked that the light flickers exactly every 4.3 seconds. They've noted that 3 different people just used the same empty phrase to end a conversation. They are tracking the specific trajectory of a dog moving toward a plate of chips. Observers often label this hyperfixation as a social glitch or a sign of someone being weird. This behavior is actually the external sign of a specialized pattern recognition system. It is a brain gathering and analyzing data at a resolution that most people simply cannot access. Understanding autism requires looking at this neural architecture on its own terms, as a highly tuned system for detecting structure and anomalies in a chaotic world. The autistic brain is built on a specific neural architecture that differs from birth. Research shows that while many brains rely on long-range neural highways to connect distant regions, the autistic brain prioritizes local connectivity. Think of it as a city with fewer interstates, but an incredibly dense, intricate web of short-range streets, where every house is connected to every other house. This high density of local connections forces the brain to process raw data with extreme precision. Instead of summarizing a scene, these clusters analyze individual pieces of information, the pitch of a note, the texture of a fabric, the sequence of a number, at a level of granularity that standard highway systems often skip over. This creates a cognitive style called weak central coherence. It means the brain analyzes the individual trees with such intensity that the concept of a forest only emerges once every single tree has been accounted for. Because this system builds its understanding from these microscopic details upward, it possesses an unrivaled capacity for spotting the tiny, hidden breaks in a pattern that a top-down processor would naturally ignore. This detail-heavy processing creates a constant volume problem. Most brains possess an automatic filter that suppresses background noise, like the hum of a refrigerator or the feel of a shirt collar. In an autistic brain, that filter is often less aggressive, leaving every sensory input in the foreground. To manage this unfiltered stream of data, the brain hunts for predictable patterns. Finding a rule or a repetition makes the chaos manageable, allowing the brain to categorize information and save energy. Routines and deep special interests function as essential data management systems. They provide a structured framework for a high-input environment, and the brain finds this kind of deep-dive pattern exploration genuinely rewarding. Social interactions are particularly taxing because they are built on inconsistent data. Tone, facial expressions, and unwritten rules are tiny, shifting variables that don't follow a fixed logic. A mind that prioritizes every detail must consciously reverse engineer these interactions, manually calculating the meaning of a glance or a shift in pitch. What looks like social lag or rigid behavior is the result of a brain running exhaustive, real-time analysis on a high-bandwidth data stream. The system is doing more work, not less. When this engine for pattern recognition is applied to a single complex problem, it leads to a state of hyperfocus, a concentration so deep that the outside world effectively disappears. This cognitive profile is the reason companies in cybersecurity, software testing, and medical diagnostics are specifically recruiting autistic employees. These roles require a mind that can scan thousands of lines of data to find the one single pattern break that indicates a bug or a threat. We see echoes of this cognitive style in the lives of historical figures like Albert Einstein, whose work was driven by an intense, detail-driven focus on the structural patterns of the universe. Similarly, Alan Turing's legacy in cryptography and computer science was built on his ability to follow complex logical threads further than anyone else. While we can't diagnose the past, their achievements align with the specific strengths of the pattern-recognizing mind. This architecture comes with a high personal tax. Navigating a world designed for a different operating system leads to sensory overload and profound exhaustion. The energy required to manage the volume problem and the social analysis often results in severe burnout. The human species needs minds that see what others miss. Instead of treating this cognitive style as a defect, we must provide the environments and the support these individuals need to apply their unique ability to the threads that connect our world.